white people were the first to formally put an end to slavery.
Now, do you know why that is? Bear in mind that slavery's been around for hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of years, way before America, way before anybody knew about America. Slavery was around. And slavery was a disciplined and civilized system, and it also kept track of people. Like we're doing now, we're trying to keep track of people. And it's working. And notice that people are starting to be more civilized because we could keep track of them. And we could expose their hypocrisy and everything like that. There's still problems. There's always going to be problems. There's not going to be a perfect system, but that's what slavery did. It civilized people, it disciplined them, and it kept track of them. So imagine bigot racist people under slavery, and they have to get along with Negroes. Because nobody likes fighting in their business. So they would have to get along with Negroes, and they would learn to get along with them. And if they want to get out of slavery, they have to be a civilized individual. Because in the South, people seem to ignore this, but in the South, there was a lot of mulattoes. Now, a racist bigot society is not going to have so many mulattoes. That's one of the reasons why Northerners hated the Southerners. Did not like the Southerners because they were getting along with Negroes. They didn't like that. There were so many mulattoes in the South. And bear in mind, after the Civil War, thousands upon thousands of black people got into positions of power in the government in the South. Not the North, because the North was a racist bigot society. They wouldn't allow that. It was in the South, right? Northerners flooded the South and then started kicking black people out because they didn't like that. And then eventually, what did we have? Jim Crow. Because they had de facto segregation. De facto segregation is basically by custom. It was just commonplace. They just knew that black people knew their place. But in the South, black people didn't know their place because they were mingling with each other. Caucasians and Negroes were mingling with each other. So they had to create a law to stop that. They had to create a law to stop that. I don't think people seem to understand that. They had to create a law to stop Caucasians and Negroes mingling. Because in the South, it wasn't a problem. So slavery actually civilizes people and disciplines them and keeps track of them. That's why it was around for such a long time. Well, also it protects people. Because when black people got out of slavery, they started getting attacked. They started getting lynched. Their homes were being destroyed. Their communities were being destroyed. Their churches, their schools, they were being attacked. And these people were getting away with it. And they were pushing us in prisons and stuff like that. Under slavery, you can't do that. You think the slave owner would tolerate his slaves being lynched every 5 seconds? No. If Black Wall Street was a slave plantation, you'd think that they would put up with that? All their slaves are being killed, and the plantation is completely destroyed? No way! All those Caucasians would have been rounded up and executed. Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman would be in prison right now, or he would have been executed if it was under the slave system. But no, it's the free system where you could easily attack black people and get away with it. Like, what kind of system is this? And then, why did they get rid of it? Well, yes, so they could have better control over black people. Believe it or not, that's how they have better control over black people under the free system. Because the slave system teaches them to respect other people. Not only black people, but anybody. But it was their system, they could do whatever they want, and that's exactly what they did. And that's why black people had so many problems. And then over time, we had to civilize them and make them realize, you can't do this. This is not proper behavior. Why in the world are you going to go to get some people that you don't like and bring them to the new world and then crap on them later? And then say, oh, praise Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm a Christian. Like, really? I keep on saying the Protestant Reformation was their new world order, and that's when they took over, and they slowly wanted to get rid of slavery because it's a form of socialism. And they don't like socialism. When there's a lack of socialism in society, there's a lack of morality. When socialism increases, the morality increases, and then these people lose power. That's why they didn't like socialism. That's the real reason why they didn't like socialism. So, white people, for nefarious reasons, white people got rid of slavery because it made them less accountable. It made them less accountable. They didn't have to worry about being respectful to other people, the people that they don't like. That's the nefarious reason why they wanted to get rid of slavery.